Hello, this is Tina and welcome to Homeschooling Oils. Today I'm going to show you the inside contents of, I think it says Foss Science Resources, the planetary science. Now, if you are doing unit studies or you are a homeschooler that is looking for books and resources to talk about the same topics that you need to talk about, like earth science, but you like to have them in smaller bite-sized pieces because your kiddos really do not care for the over thick, enormous books. Well, I would encourage you to get this because at these, the Prentice Hall, they are small and you can actually break them down into different little segments. So we actually did this with the cells and heredity. We did like a whole unit study about cells for a whole month. We were talking about cells, DNA, RNA, damaged cells, all that stuff, right? How to repair them, certain cells. All that's what we was doing. And so we was actually able to use this book, and it's really, really good because you already know what it's going to be talking about. The focal point is going to be cells and heredity. But the amazing thing is that they also break it down into chapters. And I transitioned these chapters into units, separate little units inside of what we're doing. So let me show you how a little bit of this look inside. So you have different little things, some different activities in this book that you do. You have some different guided reading on the side. You have some different tips when they're trying to help you see a certain point. You have definitions and they're boldface. You also have they compare different things and contrast different things. You have so many different little meaty little subjects and subtopics that you can actually use with this book. So this could actually take way more than a month to go through. It just depends on how you want to break it through. You even encourage your children to journal. You can do a checkpoint. It does the timeline of when certain things came into existence in science, because they call it science and history. It talks about looking in the cells, have a little review, so you won't have to worry about trying to figure out what test you're going to do, or how are you, if you're not a tester in your homeschool, you actually trying to see how much information your kiddos retained. This would be a good thing for you to do. You can actually break this up and do some diagramming, actually have them copy this or trace it, and then actually diagram it themselves. All kind of different things, even down to experiments that are in this book. And these books are not expensive. And they are meaty. They have a lot of information in it. So if you are into having your information presented in small bite-sized pieces, your children tend to get overwhelmed with a large amount of books. You even break into the language arts connection. It kind of branched off into so many different subtopics other than science. That's another reason why I like it as well. So this is amazing. And now I'm going to show you a little bit of the planetary science, which would basically be the solar system. This will fall into the category of earth science. This will fall into the category of biology. So if you was wondering like what subject, core subject, quotation marks, does this fall in? Well, it will fall into, it can fall in two categories. It can fall in biology with the segment of the anatomy and cells, or it can just fall up under the whole umbrella of biology, because if you notice a regular traditional biology book, it's going to have a whole section just on this, a whole unit, a whole chapter, maybe one or two. And this will fall into earth science. If you're doing earth science, this will fall into that. And even if you're doing physical science, you will notice that in physical science, they have a whole section where they talk about earth science. It talks about the planets, it talks about the stars, and then in physical science, it start talking about physics, and then it talk about chemistry, but it does it in a small kind of introductory into the course. It's not a full course in any of it. That's what physical science is. It's a collaboration of physical science, chemistry, and also earth science. So this will actually fall into your physical science if you don't want to use a traditional physical science book. So as it starts off talking about, it gives you a breakdown on what's going to be in the book. I skipped this page I have my own reasons for that. But I was mostly interested into the seasons of the earth and how the tilt was, and also when we were having all of these eclipses that was happening. And in South Carolina, we was able to really experience one for the first time. And so some of this I used, some of this I did not use. So that's the beauty of homeschooling. You pick and choose what you want to present to your children. And I used it for, we actually did an Oreo demo project with this, where they did the difference with the moon and the crescent and all that different stuff like that. And they was actually able to eat it. Then we did a project on the solar system. They was able to make it from different candies, and after they did it and did their presentation, they was actually able to eat it. And we watched some DVDs in regards to astronauts, and my children was actually able to meet an astronaut in real life. They had like a free program down here in my town, and he was actually friends with the man that walked the moon, and he told us behind the scenes stuff. Actually brought my son in to talk because he's like, he's my prize pupil. And so it was a real nice experience, to say the least. So as you can see, it has many, many, many vivid pictures, and it breaks it up into each particular. Now we need to add something. The next planet that they just discovered, that need to be added on to this, because when this book was published, that didn't exist. Well, it existed, but they didn't discover it yet, I should say. So this is all the different images in the back. You have graphs and statistics that you can even use for math. You can use it for math. They can create different little sub projects. So it's a very, very good book overall. Even breaks down different earth, land, forms, and descriptions. So it's very, very cool. I use bits and pieces of this to support our unit studies that we was already doing. So I just want to show you the inside of it. Has a glossary in the back, definition. So if you want to give a child, start some flashcards with it, that'll be a good little thing that they can use. Excuse me. And I also like that the definitions are short and precise and to the point. It's not a long drawn out definition for everything. So this is how the inside contents of both of these books look. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have not yet hit that like button, hit it. Make sure that you comment, say hello, so I can tell you hello back. And also hit that subscribe button. And then anytime you see a video that you think will benefit someone that you know on their homeschooling journey, or maybe they're not homeschooling, but they're just looking for a different resource, share the video. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.